the base test, right? We had written some tests here, and so now we want to, like, the same code was written here, right? Before method, after method, and before method, after method. So what we did was we created a base test, right? And these two, uh, so because base test here we are just writing, before method, what was it? Driver dot new driver is equal to new from driver dot get this, right? This was there in this. So uh, so here we are doing just the testing, right? So why do we need to write all these things here? So that's why what we'll do is we will create a new, we created this. So first of all, these were the two tests, right? So initially there was before method, after method in this, so that we move to base test, right? So now these two tests are extending the base tests, right? And the base test had the WebDriver variable, right, which it was using over here, right? This one, it was, don't ignore this for now, it was using like this, right? So once you extend this, all the variables in the base test can be used here, right? But we don't want someone to create, like, extend this particular class, right? So what we'll do is we'll make it final, right? Also, we don't want anyone to create object of this, so that's why we made a private constructor over here. Make sense? So this is the reason that we were doing this, and similarly for the login page test also, we made it final, and we created a private constructor here. So I should have created a private constructor actually. I don't know why did I not create. So this is created now. So now no one will be able to make object of this class, and we have also made it final. Good. So now what will happen is, now in the base test it will execute before method, right? And then this test would be executed, and then the browser would be quit, right? So so similarly for the base test as well, we don't want anyone to create this. So here also we make it private constructor, right? But the problem is the other classes are extending it, so we can't make it private. So that's why we made it protected. So it is accessible at the package level. Okay, and so we can't make it final also. Why? Because other classes are extending this, right? Sorry. So we can't make it final. See, you can see the error over here, right? So that's why we can't make it final. Base test. Okay. So now we are doing testing. We are doing testing here. So why are we, declaring all these all these driver.get initializing the driver? That shouldn't be there in the test, right? Because we are not doing that. What we'll do is we'll create a new package called this com dot, because here it is constants, here we want to initialize the driver, so that's why we created a new package, and here we declared one initialize driver method, right? Okay, ignore this if statement for now, and then we created another method called quit driver. Again, ignore this if statement. So here what we are doing is, so these are both static methods, so these both can be accessed from class name dot variable name or method name, right? But here the driver here is driver is equal to, so we are using this, right? So it has to be static, because non-static variables can't be used in static methods. So that's why we made it static. You can see the errors that came, right? So that's why we're doing that, and then we are trying to access it in the class using driver dot driver, right? Because driver is the variable, the static variable, and driver is the class name dot variable name. Okay, and accessing this over here, and similarly over here also we are accessing, right? Makes sense. So now that we are doing this, so we are doing the initialization in the driver class. So initially it will all be null, right? Driver will be null, and okay. So why did we put it over here in this one is because we can't put it in the SRC test resources. It's not a test. SRC test Java. It's not a test. We know that it's not a resource also, and we don't put it in SRC main resources. So the only thing that is remaining is SRC main Java. So that's why we put it over here. Driver initialization. Okay. So after doing this, yeah. So in the this one we are in the base test. In the base test we are directly calling these methods in the driver. Okay. Class name dot variable name. So these are directly called over there. Okay. So we are not writing any test here. So just call these methods. This is more clean now, right? So now what we'll do is, so here we are doing it right, driver dot this way. So we will change it later. We'll see how we can do, but right now it's more important to look at other things. So for example, we are writing this code, right? So someone, if he looks at our code, so he will write something like, if someone new is coming, he will write init drive, right? So in this, what can happen is our test one instance will remain open. How do we handle that? Because from here, when the test will start, right, it will have this WebDriver driver null, and then this would be assigned to it. Okay, a Chrome driver instance would open, right? Then it would come to this test, but it is now another instance will open. Okay, the WebDriver value will be assigned to this one, and then the test would run normally. So after the test is run, there will be one WebDriver instance that will remain open, right? So uh, so our test, it is not the right way. That's not what we want. So that's why we have to handle this. That whenever driver is not null, only then this one should execute. Okay, so initially driver would when it is null, then only it should go. So initially when the driver is null, it will go in this, right, and it will execute. But once it will go here, and if someone has written, because driver already has value, so even if it is calling in, it has value, it will not go inside because it's not null, right? So this is how we are handling it. And after we have we have done all the testing, executed the test, then if it is not null, then it should quit the browser and then reassign the value to null. If you don't reassign it to null, again, that some issues will come, configuration issue will come or something, because one test will run, others will not run, because if you don't assign it to null, it won't enter here, right? It would keep like that. So that's why we want that driver gets null, and this is how we handle it. Okay, so if we try to run it, it will run fine, and you can see that the test is passing fine. These are some concepts that you can take a look at, and